What is up again, guys? As always, Mr. Jericho and I are going to continue on the Starion build. Once again, today we're going to kind of make it a little bit different. I feel like we've been getting a little out of hand on the editing and kind of worrying about what we're going to do. Worrying probably more about the outcome of the video or the finished product of the video rather than actually getting some stuff done. And us joking around and messing around a little bit too much, right?
It was fun.
Yeah, it was cool. It'll come back again. It'll come back. So, well, we were talking and we decided that we really need to get this thing up and going. We really need to show progress, at least within the next few videos. So, we are going to probably go back to the old style for now, the way I started filming in my first videos, like with the Subaru, to where I would just give you quick updates after the initial job or whatever's done. That way I don't have to pause, or we don't have to, stop production to fire up the camera and kind of start explaining. So, in between or while we're doing a job. So let's and then no time lapse today. No time lapse. So, okay, let's just bring everybody back up to speed. We did kind of create a quick list here of what is left on this. So obviously the intercooler brackets, the intercooler piping, turbo remounting, I'm gonna call it remounting, finish, the wire tuck. Okay, let me stop right there at the wire tuck. Okay, we did have a few comments on our Instagram, and we kind of overlooked it ourselves, but the right side harness right here, we don't need it. We do not need it at all. Even we had a few people comment saying that, well, if you're not running the Starion motor, why do you need to worry about mounting this harness back to the car? Why don't you just remove it? So, whoever suggested that, great idea. Thank you for noticing that. So, we already removed the ECU just to make sure that that entire harness was connected to here. So, which it is. So, we're actually going to be removing this entire loom right here, which we don't need anymore. So that is awesome.
Yeah.
Not only is that a weight reduction, but that's less material needed to mount it up against the side.
And if anybody wants this, hit us up.
And it looks like it was a replacement ECU.
Yep.
So we just noticed that. So we don't need it. But yeah, if anyone's looking for another ECU, definitely hit us up at Sleeper Garage. Hit us up on our Instagram or in the comments below. Okay, and we did receive a few more parts, so let's bring people up to date with our new parts that we got. So we got our flywheel and pressure plate. So it is a lightweight flywheel that was actually purchased from eBay, and the pressure plate also is supposed to be an uprated pressure plate, which was also purchased through eBay. So this is what we're going to wind up doing. Now, I did mention before that my friend had come down to do measurements with the flywheel, but I actually told him to get the the bore size right here, which is actually incorrect because I forgot and I did not realize that the pilot bushing for the K series does not go inside the flywheel. It actually goes into the crankshaft in the back. So when I was doing my research, I got the specs from the K24 for the original pilot bushing, which I forgot where I put it. Oh, where is it? Alright, so this is the original K24 pilot bushing. So it's obviously not a roller bearing. So obviously our Toyota transmission input shaft is a lot smaller actually than this. The outer diameter measured out to 24 millimeters for the Honda, and then for the Toyota, the shaft measured out to 12 millimeters. So, and this is actually 8 millimeters thick. I was doing some research online for bearing sizes. The closest thing that we came up with was actually a 12 millimeter inner bore, which fits on the Toyota. The outer is 24 millimeters, which will fit in the crankshaft of the K24. But the thickness is actually only 6 millimeters, and that is the closest we can get. It's just going to work as a pilot bearing anyway, so we're going to be able to knock that all the way in there or flush it out just to kind of stabilize the transmission shaft. So that's definitely a better alternative to having a piece like this machined, and like McGregor suggested was to have one of these specially machined, but we can go with the classic roller bearing there, ball bearing.
Cool.
Ceramic, and it will work because it does say racing on it.
Racing.
So it's from Acer Racing. So we'll put the part number below. As far I forgot what it was, 6901, something like that. Bearing number 6901, 12 by 24 by 6. So if anyone's putting the W58 with a K24 or K20, that's the bearing you want to use. All right. And what else did we get, Jericho? Was that it? Oh, we just got a whole bunch of miscellaneous supplies, like our mounts right here for the wiring harness. We got hopefully better hole saw.
Hopefully. And little tap screws and electrical tape and Honda bond. And then one flywheel bolt.
Yeah, one flywheel bolt. So we are going to be putting in ARP bolts, flywheel bolts, as well as the pressure plate bolts. So the disc, obviously, we're not going to be using. This is for the K24. It's a stage 5, supposedly. But like I said, we're not going to be using this. We're going to be using the disc from Clutch Masters. And there we go, guys. Look at that. Eliminated. Forget tucking. It says wire eliminating.
Elimination.
All right. Cool.
Gone.
So this.
If anybody needs this.
If anybody needs that, let us know. But I mean, the car did come like this. I don't know where these wires would go, but they're all cut. They look like they had butt connectors on them before. Let me focus a little bit. Okay, there we go. Butt connectors. So, whatever. You never know. Maybe somebody might need it. Maybe a rat got to theirs and had a feast. So, all right, man. Let's go ahead and look at that. That's way cleaner. Look at that.
Yeah, they go way cleaner.
All right. All right. Let's
back to work.
Back to work. All right. First order of business. What are you laughing at?
Scared me.
Sorry. All right. First order of business, we're going to go ahead and start reassembling our transmission. We're going to put on our Drift Motion modified shifter housing. So that looks pretty cool. I haven't even put it up to it to see what it's going to look like. Wow, look at that. That comes out way far.
That's far.
Cool, man. All right. We'll go ahead and get that all done, and we'll keep you posted. Pretty cool. Look at that. It extends out really far now.
That's far.
It is.
You see me right here.
Yep. So what we plan to do is get this bolted back into the car, and hopefully get that cross member up on there. That way we know exactly what we need to do. We need to find out if we need to adjust any clearances inside the transmission well, and go from there. So you ready to get this thing back in there?
Ready like spaghetti.
Alright guys, we have the flywheel just loosely installed right there with one bolt, just for a mock-up to make sure that our bell housing clears everything. I did go ahead and already install our pilot bearing, and it fits perfectly. I mean, I really had to get it in. I really had to pound it in there to get it flush there, but that is perfect. That is going to work great. So yeah, so turns out we didn't have to get anything machined for our bell housing. We just go classic style roller bearing. So, and the roller bearing is good up to like I think 15,000 RPM. So we should be okay. We're gonna be revving like that. Only the Swift can rev that high. All right, guys, we got the transmission bolted in, and we did have to wind up cutting the tunnel a little bit. Let me move this away. Cutting the tunnel a little bit to clear the 6 bolts right there, and that's fine. I mean, it wasn't too much. It wasn't too bad either. It looks like it came that way. So what we can do is probably not too much. Maybe make a plate, maybe if necessary. But I mean the carpet's covering it like that, so. Not sure how it would normally be. Oh, it would normally have a rubber gasket or something around it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we gotta definitely make something. But look at that. Even though that bezel's broken, which is okay because we can always
fix it,
plastic weld it back together. But look at that. It's right in the center, right where we wanted it to be. See, I think they did do it in 5 inches. They did do it after all, huh?
Yeah. They did good.
They
Thank
did.
you, Drift Motion.
Yeah, no, it works perfect. Look at that. Look at that. And I was worried about that shifter being a little bit too long, but actually, in the position that it's in, it's not too bad. As long as we don't slip off and you wind up punching the crap out of that vent right there.
The hazard. Or the vent.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, we can always get one of those, the ones that kind of mount outward a little bit. You know what I'm talking about? Have you seen those?
No, the one that bends out.
Yeah. So, we
I'm
got the driving glove on.
Ah.
Go
No,
shift.
it's perfect. It has enough room.
Shift that raw art.
And then I won.
Then you won.
It's over.
Yep. Cool. Wow. You know what? It's better than I hoped for. And then let me finish up our little list that we had here because I did stop at the flywheel. So, okay, well, transmount is pretty much taken care of. We need to figure out a throttle cable. Now, the throttle cable, the original Starion throttle cable has this funny bend because I'm not 100% sure why, but I think it was a top. I think it's mounted upright, the original throttle body, so it probably went kind of like this. So what we're thinking is to actually bend that little piece straight. If we can't find a cable that would be compatible with this to our pedal, because this right here, the little end right, the cable end is actually a little bit too big for the Honda right here. So I'm not sure if we should sand this down or cut it off and use one of those universal ones that bolt on, or attempt to melt down some lead and make it ourselves. So I don't know, we'll try something, get it on there. So that's the throttle cable. Oh, look at that, you crossed them off. Okay, our power steering is more or less taken care of. Look, I did actually thread it, so I'm not sure if I mentioned that last episode, but I probably did. But it is threaded, at least the pressure side, so that is pretty much configured. And I did mention that one time that we said we were going to shorten up our hard lines, but what we're actually going to do is eliminate the hard lines completely and run dash 6 and 8 fittings right at the box. So we can just run our lines to the box and then back to the reservoir and complete the circle right there. Our fuel, we do plan on running I believe it was AEM inline pump, because these Starions do come factory with an inline pump, so we can actually remove and replace. We will be running a whole new feed line for it too. We're probably just going to run dash, I believe that probably just do dash 6. I mean, we're not, like I said, we're not looking for like massive amounts of power, so I really don't see the need in running dash 8. That's what the original plan was, but we'll just keep dash 6. I mean, later on, maybe down its life, if we really need to upgrade it to that much, if it really calls for that much fuel, then we'll do so. Sweet tea, Rick?
I need fuel.
You need fuel.
Yeah.
Thanks, McDonald's. Sweet tea. Okay, and we will be running, I believe we're going to run 1,000cc Deechworks injectors, like the ones I ran on my brother's WRX. Those worked out great. He's right now he's currently running about 22 pounds of boost right now, and there's still plenty more fuel for that. And we're running dash 6 lines on that as well. Our cooling, we still need to mount our radiator. We haven't done that, but we figure we can do that later on, pretty much when the engine's probably gonna go back in. Probably when we remove it, we can probably get in there better, mount up the radiator the way we want it, and then when the engine's back in after rebuilding, then we can configure our cooling lines, which isn't really that difficult at all. So wiring and ECU, we do have an RSX wire harness that Jericho salvaged out of a junkyard. We will be going through that. We will be doing our own wire harness as far as wire tucking goes on this. We want it as invisible as possible, whatever we can do to make it nice. We obviously know the way in over there is through that grommet over there, so I mean, I'm not too sure how clean we can get it, because that ABS pump isn't going to be there anymore. So
all clean.
I mean, do we want the loom cutting out that way? Probably not, huh?
Well, I'll figure something.
We'll figure something out. And then okay, yeah, and then once we have all that, and we have hopefully we have the ECU, I'd say within probably within the month we'll have the ECU already. And dang, dude, we're almost, I mean, it's more or less almost there. We're almost at the stage to where we can wire it up and then fire it up, I guess you could say.
Pretty much. And I mean, we could fire it up, but
Yeah.
we'll wait.
Yeah, that'll be kind of a tease too. I mean, I'd like to wire everything up first. You know, while it's like this, kind of. So that way, when we take everything out, then we know we need to refresh the motor. We're still contemplating on upgrading that, which we should really upgrade that oil pump to the Type S, so we can eliminate the balance shafts out of this, and probably figure out how to baffle the oil pan, because this was originally a front wheel drive engine, so the oil pickup now is more towards the front of the oil pan. So as we're accelerating, all the oil is going to swish back. So, and I really don't want to hurt this motor. I mean, it's old. It's old, but not this old. But now I want to make sure, it's longevity, because, we do plan on taking a little trip in this and putting some major miles on this car as soon as we're up and running. Minus a suspension. I mean, suspension is going to be another story. Suspension and brakes is just, that's another series.
It's another series.
Yeah, we're not even worried about that. We just want to get this thing up and running, and we want to make that trip. I'm not sure yet. We're not going to say where yet, but it is pretty far. It will require a lot of driving and a lot of confidence in our build here.
I'm confident.
Oh, and I'm fine too. But as long as we have a heater, and we don't make the trip during the hot.
Yeah.
Hopefully before summer, like in the spring. And definitely in the spring. So.
Hey, you read my mind.
Oh. I tend to do that. With people. Read their minds. Take their ideas sometimes. Yeah, I have that gift. But anyway. Alright, guys. We're gonna call it a night. We're gonna stop here for now. I'm gonna consider this more of an update video. We did show you all of our new parts that come in. The clutch, our transmission is remounted into the car. It is hooked up to the motor right now. The pilot bearing worked out perfectly. Everything slid in perfectly the way it should be, and mounted and bolted on the way it should. So it's in there. It is clearanced properly, so we aren't going to get any type of vibrations or any type of bad harmonics from it touching in the transmission well, or tunnel. We got the first intercooler pipe cut. My intercooler is still not mounted, and that is because the hardware it requires is a weird size, and I do not have that type of hardware. I have to figure out what that is. If not, I'm probably just going to have to wind up rethreading it for something a little bit larger, which probably would be more ideal, actually, for that size of an intercooler. I mean, it's not heavy or anything, but it doesn't hurt to enlarge the hardware on that. We did hole saw. We did get a new hole saw. We did manage to cut our 2 holes in there for the intercooler piping. Jericho did mount up the left side loom right here, and it's looking really good. It's really, really secure. So obviously our headlights or anything is not plugged in yet. That's because we need to finish up our intercooler piping on this side. But I can't finish that until that guy's completely mounted, so I know exactly where to cut my angles at. Our engine is looking great. Our engine's looking nice and level too. I love that. So, you got the little level on there right now, huh? So, yeah, it's probably a bad spot for it right there. Let's see. Well, there's no straight lines on this. There's no flat spots on this car, so, oh well. Level doesn't really matter. We actually need the one for the pitch level thing, but it's okay. We know that the pitch left to right is correct, and we know that our motor is center as well, and it is looking awesome. Looking even more awesome. I mean, it seems like we're really, really close and kind of a little bit far at the same time. I mean, once that guy's mounted, I mean, it will not take very long to make the intercooler piping on this.
Let's call it a night.
All right, man. Well,
as you know, it's dark
it's
out.
always dark. It's never daylight. It's never daylight. So, all right, guys. Like, subscribe, leave any comment you have below, or
let your hate flow.
Let your hate flow. All right, guys. Have a good night.